fresh produce post-harvest losses during transportation. So directly in the post-harvest losses side, what we check here in general post-harvest losses, then we had one session on post-harvest handling, but now we are more focusing on the how that loss is coming in the transportation side, because transportation in the whole chain involved in many places. Okay, transportation of the product. So we starting with the post-harvest in general and come with the strategies, where now my even the concern here, as you are a researcher, and when you're doing your research and applying that one, what we require some strategies at the end you are targeting to reduce that losses. So maybe after this one for strategies, maybe I would like here after this session, when you implement in your place in your research, thinking that way how you can apply related to your research strategies to get the solutions and link with this way. So probably now in the post-harvest value chain, transportation in the whole chain is important and plays a very big role. Even in the transportation, what we say, sometimes in the farm to the pack house, that's transport involved, even going for the small mandi or somewhere, or even after transportation from one place to another place, even the short transportation, long transportation, sometimes even the country, and there are different modes, sometimes road, rail, transportation, they are involved. So mostly when we look for the product quality, of course there are number of practices, number of operations, we look for the storage, handling, and but transportation we cannot ignore actually during the processes. So we came here again the post-harvest losses, and we always coming in the same way. That's 1/3 never reach to the people, losses are high, people not getting enough food, and the losses is high and limited food availability for the people is not due to the limited production. Production is sufficient. Even we can feed the people, but still we are not able to achieve the food security. And we can see here worldwide there are still become the, whenever we say the power report or something, they come that a big population of the world still not get enough food to eat. And by different activities, even the different disciplines in agriculture who is targeting to get a maximum production, and they are always going that there, but at the same time what we producing, we are not preserving or protecting that one. That is also important step here to how we can protect that one. And in the post-harvest chain, as we with others handling transportation, other operation, transportation also plays a big role. And when we look for the value chain, of course fruits and vegetables, one thing what we know, they are quite perishable. We need to treat them as soon as they harvest. Even delaying the processing, delaying the operation, it may also affect the shelf life of the product, whatever the activity we are doing here. And during transportation and handling processes, whatever we check, but always also link here, even in the ethical management, what I see, your harvesting practices, you need to be little careful, because if we have the good quality product, then only you can preserve the good quality product at the end. If the product is already damaged during the harvesting operation, if you use any technology, any post-harvest operation, we will not expect we should get the good quality product at the end. And that's why here also they mention here improper harvesting, that makes the big role here. And again the ignorance part, not only the farm level, even the market level, every stakeholder and every chain where we see the distribution, they play their role towards the post-harvest losses, from starting from the traders, farmers, processors, and even the workers who is working in the field, even working in the transportation side, handling the product. Sometimes it's not about they want to, sometimes happening unknowingly because they are not aware some practices, and they were thinking that one, okay, that's damage is happening, maybe it is not affecting too much for this one. So awareness one the key, because when you see the social factors, we need to train and aware the people. Awareness and sometimes about technical knowledge, and make to sure, okay, you have little damage today, but after 3 days it will become bigger. So people will not consume that one because they not seen the product after 3 days. They will see at the same time, that time only. Then the buyers or consumers, what he looking at the product actually? He looking at all the factors, and even the study what we did one time and from the market, 2 factors that is quite important, even appearance and texture. Then only they come here, it is expensive or not. Okay, after that price may become factor. Firstly you choose, okay, how the product looks like, then by appearance, then we touch the product with the texture, and then after third thought will come, is it affordable or not. But the first appearance side is important here for the product. And of course still there is not proper infrastructure for the handling, so sometimes not proper practices for storage, for handling, even the not proper transportation mode. So even what we say here is a link, transportation, what we consider here the link from the with the harvesting product. It may be for storage, we need to transport, even in the storage facilities where we are sorting, grading, even lastly when distribution, transport is there. We cannot ignore that one. So whatever the happening with the product, quality or the shelf life related to product, we need to concern what is our transport practices, how we are handling the product with the transportation. And in the whole transportation distribution system, it may important how we are managing or handling the practices here. Okay, these practices even we discuss in the whole post-harvest. And one thing I always mention, when you say post-harvest, we are bombarding the world with the post-harvest and shelf life always. So this is not new, nothing new actually. Whenever you see that picture, everyone seen many times. Even sometimes in the when you go market, in the roadside, when the transporting product, they come sometimes arranging boxes, sometimes mix of fruits, sometimes arranging with layers, but not the properly align the product. So indirectly it may damage the bruising, what we say the mechanical damage. And what happening here, when they compare with the country wise, particularly developing countries, the incident during the transportation is quite higher compared to developed world. The reason, the facilities what they developed world have the quite better for the transportation handling side. But developing world like even in the India or in the African continent, though we are producing lot of fruits and vegetable, maximum product going to the landfill. Even some African countries, the studies showing up to more than 40%, 40 to 50%, means whatever producing is just like a wasting the product. Okay. So this may be the some damaging some and directly going to the landfill during the transportation. And now we come in the even the last time we discussed about the mechanical damage during happening, your impact and compression, but at the same time the damage happening during the transportation as well. And the making here the statement, even it has a big economic impact. Big economic impact means your product get damaged. So the two things will be happening. You may be selling your product at low prices, discard the product for the landfill. Even some countries you need to pay for the discarding the product, and mostly the effect what we get the product for the outer side in the mechanical damage, but mostly times if you go some studies they what they're showing the mechanical damage directly linked with some biochemical changes that may be undesirable for some products. Even the ethylene management practices also we can say one of that one. So at this same time when there is a damage of product visual quality, and at the same time economics impact both way, farmer, retailer, both losing the money. And now in the market if you see here always we have the always a trend, people are ready to pay when the product is better. Even in the mandi or even the supermarket you can see apple coming from different countries and they have the different price tag. We cannot buy the product is from India but the product is a lower quality and we are ready to pay higher prices. No, it will not going to happen. Product link that factor, we like if we are ready to pay better price per product we expect better quality product. Surprisingly, because the experience from my side actually when I was Oman, and there also we get the tomatoes. Okay, so tomato price usually they have around 60 to 70 rupees kg usually the local tomato they getting, but at the same time we used to get some good quality tomato from the Netherlands, the price around 600 to 700 rupees kg. Only difference we can see the appearance side similar size of the product, uniform color, and people ready to pay for this one. It's at 6 to 7 times higher price for that product. And this damaging concern with the product actually mechanical damage, there are different types of forces as we come that also even previous lecture like compression, impact, abrasion, cutting and vibration. So here that forces during the supply chain, of course it will start as soon as we harvest the product, and that damaging of the product, if we consider the factor like in the fresh process product we have some criteria, we have the critical point where the damage is occurring and then we go for the prevention methods, not exactly the hazard but similar way. So even in the if you see our whole post-harvest value chain and we see the what is the critical point, even the handling, transportation, and there is a chances to get the more damage and we require the solution for this side. Of course it will change the product to product and even from where we are transporting one place to another or long distance, short distance. And this damage always linked with our quality, shelf life of the product, and mostly now economical side. In the competition world now, whatever you see here, the product every farmer, every retailer growing, they always expect we have to fetch better price at the end of the product. So they starting from the during the harvesting means production side, they make all the efforts to get at the end a good quality product, but at the end they will get the price in the market. That's why the post-harvest value chain, what we producing that product, we need to maintain up to the end after the harvesting the product, and there is a big economic loss if they not maintain this one or not maintain the shelf life of the product. So in this way, even in the more detailing, we come here the stresses coming from the impact, compression, some types of abrasion or kind of vibration side, and the cut. Okay, I will specifically because if you see before we can hit the big side impact, compression, vibration, and even the cut because it's happening during the handling. maybe sharp edges make the product cut, and they have the in the quality effect on the product. First one, like the appearance, we get not good appearance, so that is the one characteristics for the market product, visual appearance, how your product looks like. Then it may be damaged easily, so bruising susceptibility there to product may, there is electrolyte leakage, the enzymatic activity, so enzymatic activity changes your biochemical changes, even the respiration, ethylene production process, color changes that may be not desirable. Sometimes we not expect during transportation, like when we give the example, if you transport green banana, our idea is there, it's supposed to reach to the place, market, it's supposed to be in green condition. And then only we go for the ripening or the operation. If the damage happening during the transportation side, the color change, and it's also linked with the biochemical processes. So we cannot preserve the product for longer period. The weight loss important, because the processor farmer, they sell the product on their sellable weight. If it's a product losing the weight mass during the transportation, indirectly people will give the money per kg, no? So if you buy in the product, so if you already lose some 100-gram weight during transportation, indirectly we are losing that one. TSS, there is a chances of bacterial fungal contamination, reduction in firmness, the texture, that is also one characteristics for the consumers to check the appearance and the texture. That is the two always the main sensory characteristics for the quality. Changes in respiration and TA for the product. So that all changes link with the damages here. So impact force, I think we already discussed. So just to get idea in the brief, when any product during handling drop down, and it may be happening during the transportation side as well. Okay, so even sometimes the product get damaged. If it's falling from the little higher height, it may be in the breakup, directly rupturing the cell, and then we found here sometimes the weight loss, even the microbes, and all the factors will be linked with this one. So that impact directly know that the cracks, what we say, indirectly reduce the quality of the product. And next stage, discarding product is one thing, but at the same time, if it's for the long distance transportation, what will happen? It will damage the neighboring fruit. The fruit also already damaged, but if we store nearby, it will affect the neighboring fruit. Then the compression, what we discussed about the packaging side, because during handling, transportation, and of course it will depends, one factor we can consider here, mostly times we have the corrugated packages, okay, what we discussed last time. But now if we come aware about the beans, particularly the apple industry, they have the beans like big containers, okay, 40-50 kgs like this one, they keeping in the beans. Now if you overfilling that beans, that time the product with the bottom side get more stress, even the overfilling side. So that is also avoid this one to make the overfilling, and it has the effect on the tissue structure. Indirectly it is breaking, means the physiochemical attributes of the product also getting the change, and this is indirectly with the quality of the product as well. Then the abrasion forces, what we consider here, that is now the transportation side. Mostly they happening in the transportation when the product will collide with each other, and they have the breakdown even the membrane cell from the product and increase the permeability, leakage will be there, and permeability happening during the ripening one. So for the abrasion, what we consider here, mass loss, means weight loss of the product, discoloration, some wounds and injuries, So it will accelerate your ripening process and reduce the shelf life of the product. Then mostly the cut force, when the product is rotating in the during transportation side, and if you contact with the sharp border. Now you come in the real world scenario, what we see here in transportation, not all fruits you are going to the corrugated boxes. Sometimes just we wood filled, sometimes a big tanks or something we are filling this one. So when the product collided and attaching with the sharp edges, it may get directly cut for the products. And another one like a vibration during the transit, and it may affecting with a number of factors, completely with the vehicle condition, road, and what may be the packaging. That may be important here. Your road, some factors we as a researchers out of our control, because like when I talk about the road conditions and the packaging and factor, that maybe we may control this one. So during that one, the product, the shape, if it's a round shape product like an apple, I think there are more chances to get a collide each other actually, and the product getting softer. Then these factors, if you see here in the transportation, where we keep the product. So even the factors like you have the vehicle, the truck, which has a capacity of 2 ton or 6 ton, it affects the vibration. Okay. Another one, where we keep the product. Bottom side means at the end, rear, or in the front. Even with the stacking one, top layer, middle layer. So they also have the effect on the road condition, even the speed of the vehicle. That's all factors affecting your vibration. Then of course that the changes what we not expected but unavoidable changes that will happen, and that is lead over spoilage and economical side. So indirectly it will link with the quality, safety, shelf life, and finally it will the economic value of the product. So the forces, what we said vibration, because with the number of factors we are looking here, how to control that one. Maybe sometimes packaging, sometimes the speed limit, but some factors that maybe we cannot control easily, and we look here, okay, road condition we're not able to change. In that road, what may be our solution? We are still, because it's not something like we like to transport our product from Simla to Chennai and by road only. Road condition you cannot change, so you need to come with some another solution how we can protect the product. So even in the transportation, which may we always come in that one, is maybe affect the quality losses, and there is a no advocate, because there is a no doubt about this one. No advocate transport system. Only we found, as I mentioned, some developed countries what they have. Otherwise, what we come in the post-harvest side, every product have their recommended storage temperature, transportation temperature, but mostly product what we transporting is like a ambient condition, normal condition. Always we talk about one thing about the they're supposed to have proper ventilation, airflow, but mostly cases this way we found the scenario even in the country, how they arrange the product, how they transport. Maximum product they are transportation with this way. Even one study from the African, only in the post-harvest loss is the big share, but out of that one, what they find, up to 20% losses happening due to only transportation out of that whole post-harvest losses. So it's like even the big role actually, big percentage share during the transportation alone. And now during transportation when the product get damaged with the mechanical damage, so we can consider this type of, and this is something not new actually, because we always come across such product whenever you go to mandi market and on the supermarket. Such scenario we always see. Sometimes the product is completely damaged, rupturing, or sometimes just like a bruising. So in the mechanical damage we can come in this way, and when they have the damage, so indirectly it allows here the spoilage, and the pathogenic organism will be grow up to make the spoilage. The challenge here actually, because if it happen during the transportation, it may spoil nearby product. So that's why we like such practice is quite important here, how to avoid this one. And now whatever we talk here about the product quality, it may link with the economical side now, because when the product is transportation, we is paying for everything. So in the transportation side, there are some studies what they come here. When you have the rough road condition is not smooth actually, and that is a practical situation in the developing world. We cannot find 1,000-kilometer proper road, even it's sometimes difficult for the human. How much time it will take to reach our product? So first case actually, when we say it may increase you using rough road, because it's not by choice, it's by force. Okay, we are using the road, and it may link here the product damage throughout the process, and the enzymatic activities that may lead here. Sometimes you may found you get a early ripening with the product due to that transportation, and also some damaging with the surrounding product get damaging. So all way is like we are failed to maintain the product quality. So in the research side actually, when we look for that factor, there are some studies what we do here. There are 3 ways they do the experiment. They call it one is in transit experiment, simulation experiment, and third one transit simulation experiment. So 2 way in the research side, when we are applying such a type of work in the research, what we are doing here in transit experiment is like a real field experiment. Even you product transporting for 1,000 kilometers or more than that one, you go in the real field, and in real field what our idea to get from here, mostly times in the vehicle when they go for this one, your product we are arranging in the vehicle. Now the study what they reported, mostly time rear side the fruits experience maximum stress, rear side. Okay, now most of the time the data and accelerometer what we keeping here just to get the vibration frequency, what the frequency the product is experienced throughout the journey in the actual road condition, and it may be most towards the research side. And that stress, and with the when we look for the distance time, the stress experienced by the product, and then link with these all factors with the quality parameter changes happening with the particular product. So actual transit and linkage for the product quality, that study commonly do for this one. So even some studies probably in the picture which is just a rare one, because that is the after coming the summarized work number of studies what we did for the transportation, the maximum stress experience in the bottom side, rear side one, and that accelerometer that was just using the vibration, and that vibration is useful in coming period actually. Why is important because it will give that some threshold. What kind of threshold? That one you may know. In the real world, if the road is rough, what is the frequency experienced by the vehicle? What is the frequency experienced by the product during the transportation? So if the vibration up to going the threshold limit, even we are able to understand what may be the best or optimum one. If they go beyond that one, surely we get damage. Surely we get the damage. Then another one, like most was the simulation. Simulation is completely based on the simulation side. We can try to make our vehicle, how they make the vibration and rebounding throughout the process. The simulation transport now they make for this one, and based on that one they try to, like for example here they keep the strawberry and experiencing with the different frequencies. But one thing here we need to calculate one part here, our transport frequency and how much time it will take. So if we just say okay, I will keep for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's not the real world experience. You know, if we transporting, suppose to Bhubaneswar to Raurkela, it may take us 6 hours. So considering that way, they may come the study in the directly in the simulation side and showing for the threshold one, and in this case the vibration one, what we will getting here, what may be our threshold frequency here, vibration frequency. Then we try to get here in the vehicle side, if we able to maintain below that one, we may protect the product. So now how to maintain that one? There are a number of factors. They may link with your different packaging or even the speed, controlling the speed. Okay, we can make there, if the rough road, the vehicle should not go above such a speed. If you are going for more speed, surely it may accelerate this one. So that factor it is helping here. And third one is what we personally prefer, that's a trans simulation. Half real world, half simulation. Half real world, half simulation. Now you get the idea. If I like to do the study to transport the product from Simla to Chennai, more than 2,500 kilometers, is like not that easy way to got this one. So in this one, what we do in the approaching, we get the real transport experiment from where what we get the proper frequencies, acceleration and frequencies during in the real one. What is the maximum we get, and then in our simulated experiment, keeping the similar running for the similar distance time, you use the similar frequency for your simulation experiment, and just to mimicking this one, is it compatible or not. If it's both ways coming that one, it will help you now give the solution, practical solution for the product quality. And this may be helping here sometimes with the product, and with the solution side also we can approaching for that one. So trans simulation commonly nowadays in transport study quite popular, because you have the approach of not completely transportation, real experiment, not complete simulation. Is in between. We are taking some from transport real and some from simulation side. And in for the vibration studies, actually when we look for this one, what is our concern? We're not just looking for what is happening, why it's happening, but we have the complete conceptual framework. What we see here, we initially what we completed here, our 3 approaches that studies, like in transit, simulation and trans-simulated. Based on that one, we look for the mechanical damage. But now after transportation, what we'll do actually, we not sell the product as soon as possible. Second approach may be the your storage condition. So this study, whatever transportation we are looking here, it is linking with your storage. So how many days you are keeping the product. So that is a properly conceptual framework for that type of study. Then with the storage condition, of course it changes with the product to product, and with the optimum condition we go, or whatever the real world, if they are doing at ambient condition, that is also one. And then the playing the role for the prevention side is our packaging. So we may have the different packaging. Lastly, what we see, the different packaging may be corrugated, plastic, or traditional packages, or even sometimes the product coming with the without packaging. The role of packaging. Now what we see here, directly one damage directly coming from the product. Now we link with the storage and link with the or packaging concept here, and look for the practices, what is the damage is happening with the product. But after damaging also, for the consumers, our main concern about the quality of the product, that the quality factors indirectly coming with your physiochemical quality, physiological and nutritional quality. That is what we concern for the fruits and vegetables. That's supposed to be linked with your real world or transportation studies. So all the framework, if you're looking for the solution side, you could try for doing some experimentation or studies for that one. We get the product, use our all transport practices, you on the solution side, package and transportation, and you expect here the quality. So all the factors supposed to include to give us the best solution to the society or to the market. So that's why we come completely here that conceptual framework for the vibration impact for such studies. So there are the incidents, what we say here for the product losses, and there are number of studies nowadays going on how the transportation affects your the quality losses for like in transit simulation or trans-simulation vibration, and not big research probably, but some products, particularly banana, tomato, apple or mango, some studies you can found nowadays for such practices. So even when we look for that all studies actually that is affecting during the vibration, some found them when we look for the damage happening, and our conceptual framework we concern about the product quality, like physical chemical characteristics of the product. They look at the how that vibration expressed by the product and how it's linked with the physiochemical changes with the product. Because one thing we cannot make it 100% stop, but there may be threshold line. We can come here like on frequency side. When we come here, some products they come like a banana transportation. They come if you use up to 2 hertz frequency, what we experience from the product, still it may be better. But if we go above that one, your damage will start actually. So then it will link with your other parameters like ripening stages, because if it's above that acceleration, above that frequency threshold level, you may experience the ripening and things for the product. And particularly the challenging part in the whole transport studies is linked with the vehicle, because one thing that is with the shock absorption or vibration absorption from the vehicle, it changes, even the small vehicle, big vehicle, and even the personal experience with the driver, the behavior from the driver, that is also a key role here. And of course we mentioned that factors, even the where we keeping the product and what is the suspension from the vehicle. There are meet here that surface condition. Now there is a no doubt when road is smooth, so we may getting the better quality at the end, but now the factor with the speed, here, and they found here in the farm level at the maximum damage happening with the road is a rough road, and also the damage increasing directly linear with the speed of the vehicle. Then the duration very important. So if you your market is just a 1 hour distance, your market is 5 hour distance or 10 hour distance, and even sometimes more than 2 day transportation of the vehicle, so it also plays a big role. What is the vibration duration? In the real world, you can come here when it's transporting for more than 1000 kilometers or 2000 kilometers. It may take more than 2 days or sometimes 3 days to reach by road the product to the destination. Of course, in simulation side, trans-simulation side, we try to get that optimized this way. If it's transporting from 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, 1000 kilometers, even we able to manage with the trans-simulation system what may be the speed. Nowadays in the GPS, some big companies in the European market, they have the strict protocol, this not to drive their vehicle beyond that particular limit. Suppose the expressway and they come the limit, okay, it's supposed to go 60 or 80 based on the road condition, and that's commonly tracking by that way. And that's also not when the duration of transportation is increased, it also increases damage of the product because the vibration experienced by the product is higher. Then the directions from where product is experienced is maybe x-axis, y-axis, or z-axis, or lateral, longitudinal, or vertical vibration, and maximum the vibration when they check here, that is the y-axis direction. Actually, that's the maximum vibration the product experienced. This one, that's what we say the vertical direction compared to the longitudinal or lateral direction what the product experienced during this one. So that all factors. So when they look for the studies, this one, the vibration how much. So now the accelerometer, what they do for you, they can measure for the all 3 directions, but majority the maximum vibration, that's what we're looking to develop the solution, that is from the vertical side. Then link with our packaging, what type of packaging, how we are arranging the product, what is the stacking, that all factors coming in this one. So now we are aware that one sharp packaging, or but mostly corrugated is better, but mostly in the local market is like a plastic containers, or sometimes just a bulk product they are keeping in the container. And then other factors, particularly how is if the product is beyond the capacity of the vehicle, that is also one common practice. Actually, we see in the transportation side, people try to keep maximum product on the vehicle. So that is coming that one, that's excessive compressive stress experienced by the product of the bottom level even during transportation. And that stress, now your physiochemical changes like respiration, transpiration, and ethylene one. So it may be quality loss for the product. Suspension type, they need to check always. So it's supposed to absorb the vibration, and the vehicle size, and the studies here found from the Thailand, because they compare with the different truck size, one from 2 ton and one from 6 ton. The smaller truck side experience the lower vibration compared to the bigger truck side. So that's factor they looking for this one. So in general, when the problem is coming side, the transportation side, particularly this may be now the new opportunities for the researcher working in that area to how to minimize and reduce that one in the transportation chain actually. So with the number of factors nowadays, the research is coming on this one in the lab scale, in the simulation side. Even when I say with the industry 4 or food 4, whatever about the using the digital twins, or when we are looking for the storage condition monitoring with the IoT, that may be implemented to know the changes happening with the product, like a physiochemical changes happening with the product. And some factors what we need to consider here, the maturity, the level. We always talk about this one actually in the post-harvest, the success of our post-harvest studies, what level of maturity we harvest a product. There is, if there is decay or for how much distance and for what purpose you are looking for. Like when we discuss about the custard, that's maybe the one always the thing always the harvesting maturity time, and after that if you transport up to 2 days, we cannot avoid the changes happening with the product. So there are number of research nowadays, still these are open up with the research. So what they did actually, one studies recently they did what they make in the transport of the product with the apple, they use simulated simulated apple like a simulated ball with the sensors inside, okay, just to experience when we transport it for the long distance, what's the stress or what's the vibration is experienced by the product, just to mimicking this one they experienced by the real product and looking for the solution side. So the electronic sphere, that's they use just for the push like a apple in the industry. Even there was a recent study for the instrumented sphere, just to getting an idea here what is the stress vibration experienced by the product during your simulated transportation, as well as otherwise it's quite challenging from the real fruit what is the vibration that experienced by the product. So they come with this one. Then another one, they making the acceleration with the 3 direction when the product is rotating or rotating for different one. So they come with the real time analysis for the vibration one. Then when they're looking for this type of vibration experienced by the product, they look here real time monitoring and real time data analysis by the instrumented sphere. One thing here, at what location they experience the maximum. So GPS will tell you the track, okay, that particular road condition was not good where we are experiencing. So they try to link with this one, correlate this one. That road condition is bad or not smoothly for the vehicle where they experience, and at the same time the product experience the maximum vibration. Then nowadays the idea here to use the IoT for the coming period, so it will give you the direct indication for this one. So even in the transportation study is a quite challenging one. So most studies what we come here simulated or trans-simulated, because in the idea here, if your vehicle transported by the 1000 kilometer, and what is the maximum vibration, maximum frequency you are experience, that may be used for your simulated study and give for the solution one. And mostly studies nowadays in the focusing in the simulated and then try to give the solution in the experimental side. Then another one they coming in this one, why not use the transportation with the control storage, because control storage, what they say, if the product is a controlling condition, maybe they can control the physiochemical changes, but the is sometimes difficult for the mechanical damage. Okay. Then another studies come with another solution side with the packaging. Packaging means like cushioning or something, or even become the thicker, so it will absorb the vibration, it will not affect the product. So these are all the research open areas actually where people are working and try to contribute to give the solution, this one. Then sometimes the protective packaging or cushioning material, it may helping here to prevent package, but this area still is quite open up actually, because the solution what we come here, it may be work for the single product now, even the road condition, the cushioning, and then we also make with the packaging side the optimized packaging during for the transportation. So when we come with the conclusion for this one actually, with this for transportation study, of course in the fruit and vegetable area of research is our one of the basic requirement. Okay, whenever we look for our food security nutrition, we cannot avoid that one, we need to get that one. Even the people looking for their whatever the nutrient, minerals, vitamins coming from the fresh produce, and we also doctors also or researchers encouraging that one. So you go, so idea here, the everyone supposed to get good quality product of this one. Consumption of product, as the production is increasing, people are more aware of this one. Vibration studies during a transit, because for the transportation play the big role, and trend is here. Even we are in the Orissa, we like to get the product from each corner of the country, and of course they will come by transportation, so it is also the important one. Sometimes even from outside from the country also they are coming, but the damage happening this one, this may be properly need to check, because it is linked with the damage, and damage linked with the quality. So the studies with the mechanical vibration, transportation, and encouragement from the researcher, now young researcher like you, to come with some new solutions, some new ideas, where maybe really, because sometimes it's a box, as sometimes out of box, that maybe never thought in that scenarios. So but as nowadays when the people looking for AI or industry 4, that may be look like a somewhat promising nowadays, even the refrigerated vehicle and coming with the IoT and digital twins give you the proper solution for this one. So understanding the concept of transportation, how the vibration experienced by the product, what may be the protection, preservation methods, how to preserve the products, that may be all key for the whole transportation studies, and ultimately what we expect to get good quality fruits and vegetables to the consume. So with this we can stop with this one for the transportation one. Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop here for this one with the transportation one. Okay, and maybe we discuss how any questions, queries, even suggestions. Probably for this area, we like to, even if you open up with some good ideas, sometimes that's why I say even out of box, that may be sometimes we never thought actually that may be the solution for this one, because it's like one of the research nowadays when they're looking for the transportation side, and it links with the another factors.
The session is open for queries and feed queries, so you can ask.
Sir, my question is there any lack of coordination between farmers, transporter and retailer? Because we know the post-harvest loss, sir, India is very high.
Yeah.
So how could you fight them, sir?
No, can you repeat one time, please?
Sir, is there any lack of coordination between farmers, transporter and retailers?
That's exactly true one actually. There is a lack of coordination, and when one slide will show the awareness actually, even if you look for the quality, one concern about the quality, everyone have their one perceptions, okay, about the quality of the product.
Yes.
Farmer thinks what he get at the end from the harvesting side with the farm product, good appearance, for him that's a quality one. Retailer, what is he thinking? He want to be maximum shelf life, it will be stored for longer period so he can sell when there is a demand from the market.
Yes.
He concerned from that one. And consumers, ultimately it's coming from the consumers, okay.
Yes.
Consumers have their own expectation from the product. He looking for the appearance texture, and then he link by with his appearance, because he not with the chemical analysis there, but he links when it's a good quality, good texture means good quality product. And the temperature management practices, suppose as an example I tell you, like we live in the Middle East, okay, we get the food product like a banana from the Philippines or Ecuador somewhere.
Yes.
They come in the proper temperature management up to the port, okay, they maintain continuously temperature. But after porting, now retailer role finishing, now another retailer from the local retailer come in the market, if he not maintain the temperature from there to going to the another storehouse, so whatever efforts made by initial one, it goes in the waste. So the coordination is supposed to be important, and that also I agree for this one. The lack of coordination is the one of the key in that one, post-harvest one. So awareness, and people supposed to understand that one in the farmer level and traders level. The temperature management practices or transportation and handling practices is not the role for one. It is a all stakeholder involved in the post-harvest chain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, another question. Sir, is there any AI to optimize the post-harvest losses?
AI, no. You were talking about AI, yeah?
AI, yes.
No. Because AI, believe on what we give the data based on that one, but not. Even some countries still in the world, they don't have the country-wise post-harvest data. They understand there is a losses, but how much? Now, India, sometimes the Minister of Agriculture, they give this one. So AI will not, they will come with the numbers. You give the, ask the AI, it will tell approximately values, and that's the reason. When I was student, I used a similar number. Now you are student, use the similar number. So no, not AI. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not getting one point. Somewhere in the slide, you have mentioned like what amount of damage that will caused by vibration, and in real-time transportation. In simulation model, we use the amount of some pig like example.
Okay. If you consider, we get the vibration, the frequency. Okay. So if you're driving on the road, if it's a smooth road, you not feel any vibration at particular. Okay. If you are in the rough road, you experience the maximum vibration.
Yes.
So for that one maximum, what is the frequency is we achieve that time. That one we can use in our simulation one. To just hear the product what we experience in the real world, that is we try to use in the simulated model.
So for that purpose, you mentioned that we use same amount of like same distance and same weight. Like
No, yeah, we can use that one actually. We can use our simulation one with the timing and managing the speed with simulated table. That product can run for this product and using that one frequency.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. We can do that actually.
Okay.
So we are doing nowadays similar work.
How can we balance the need for cost-effective transportation with sustainability goals reducing post-harvest losses?
Okay. Even SDG 12.3, I'll directly talk about this one. We need to reduce post-harvest losses, and at the same time what we consider here, link with the food security part. Now the practices what we using, that's supposed to be more what is sustainable practices. And when we're looking for all the transportation nowadays using, if they're using the packaging side, there was always one concern. They're telling us, why not use the locally available material which may use your for packaging or storing the product. There was one, maybe sometimes I also not agree for this one. They come with that one. Why not locally product consumed locally? But in the commercial market now, it's not practically possible. It's not practically possible. But we need to look for the solutions like that. What is the locally available material that may be used for the practices for the particular packaging where we can keep the product for longer period. Particularly for the local produce product. And technology is another one. Now if you work in the food side area, fruits and vegetables side area, the research what way, because it's like when I was telling in this one, in recorded one, is a bold statement. The mostly studies you can see not with the products in our region. Okay, you have the custard, you have sapota in local product. You rarely found studies on this point. So now this is now the solution in our hand. You need to work on this one. What is our solution side from our part for our local product? Because there is for apple you may found thousands of studies. They're looking for the respiration, transpiration, how the mechanical damage. But rarely you found a study on the sapota. Rarely found a study of the local products. That's ignored, and that is a one thing for the sustainability. When you see, we need to advocate for that one. And the research, or when you're looking for the solution for local commodity with the local resources to come out for this one.